Hi everyone, my name's Sarah and welcome to Sarandipity Soap Company. Today I'm going to be making Fresh as a Daisy soap. This is the birth flower of April for my monthly birth flower series. The first step in this soap is to make the frosting for the piping for the daisies. So I've let this set up quite a bit so it's pretty firm, and I'm going to go ahead and fill my piping bag. With that filled, I've folded my squares of parchment paper into quarters, as you can see here, and that just gives me a better guide so I can figure out where my petals need to go. So with the wide end of my Wilton 104 tip pointing away from me, I'm going to pull the piping bag towards the center and release the pressure as I go. And I'm doing 3 or 4 strokes per quarter and turning the tip between each stroke to build up the daisies. So here's another one for you to see. And adding a little bit of the soap onto the flower nail helps to stick the parchment paper. And so I'm going to keep piping my daisies and building up my little supply so I have enough to cover the top of my soap. And here I switch to the Wilton 101 tip. It's just a smaller petal tip and it gives me slightly smaller daisies. Okay, I'm using a Wilton 12 tip here for my soap batter that is coloured with turmeric to pipe the middle of the daisies. And then I'm going to wet my finger and just press down the middle to flatten them out so you don't get that peak. I waited 1 day for my daisies to set and saponify, which made them easy to peel off the backing. Now in here I have my melted oils which have been infused with annatto seed, and I'm just adding my liquid oils into my bowl. And then I'm going to go ahead, scrape out my container and add my lye water solution. Now I am going to mix this up with a spatula rather than a stick blender and bring it to emulsification. So you can see that my batter does emulsify very quickly without the need of a stick blender. And my temperatures here are right around 100 degrees. Next I'm going to add my essential oils, and this is a blend of bergamot, lemongrass and spearmint. So it's a very nice kind of spicy floral scent which matches the daisies perfectly. Now I'm going to split off about a cup of my batter into a separate container so I can add some titanium dioxide and just lighten this batter to give a bit of contrast with the main soap. And I'm going to use my stick blender to help bring the soap to trace a little bit quicker and to fully disperse that titanium dioxide. this soap isn't in the pot swirl, so I'm going to take my lighter colour and I'm going to pour it in 4 spots around my larger container, but I am going to reserve a little bit of it for the top so that I have a solid colour for the daisies to sit on. Now, because my soap batter is kind of thick here, I'm going to mix it a little bit with my spoon before I bring in my mould and pour my soap. And I'm going to go ahead and scrape out my large container, tap down my mould to make sure I don't have any air pockets, and then flatten the top of this soap before adding the rest of the light coloured soap. Now I'm just spooning on the light coloured soap, and then I'm going to use the spatula to spread it out so it is nice and even across the top. Now here you can see I have my daisies from yesterday, and you can see that the parchment just peels right off the back of them. So I'm going to place these onto the top of my soap, and I'm going to cover as much of the soap as I can with the daisies. And you remember that I did pipe different sizes so that they should fit in together quite nicely. Now, daisies are April's birth flower, and it is my daughter's birthday on the day that this is going to be uploaded. So that makes her birth flower daisies, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, ever since she was born, I have been obsessed with daisies. It is also my birth flower, and it is about the only plant that I can't kill so far. So it was only natural that daisies were going to be the first in the series of the birth flower soaps. There they are all over the top, and I am now going to use a Wilton 352 tip for my leaves, and these are coloured with indigo root powder. I do like to do all the leaves going in one direction first and then move around my soap and do them going in a different direction. These leaves will just fill in all the little gaps that I couldn't get filled with daisies. Alright, that's it for this soap. So I waited for one day before I came back and unmolded this soap to cut it. And look at all those daisies sitting there with their nice pretty leaves. So I'm going to turn this soap on its side and go ahead and cut this with my multi-bar cutter. Now some of the leaves did fall off when I cut this, but I did put plenty of them on there so you don't notice. And that in the pot swirl came out really nicely, and it's left me a nice little spot in the top that I can stick my extra daisies. Now every single one of these bars has at least one daisy on the top. So here are my soaps laid out, and here are the rest of the daisies. And I did just pipe a couple of the leaves under it when I piped the top of the soaps. So I'm going to use some of my soap batter and just put a little dot of soap on my bars before pressing the daisies on. So I'm going to put a little dot on each of the bars and then put a daisy on each one. It for these soaps, folks. They are beautiful, they smell perfectly floral and spring-like. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions or comments in the comments section below. And for more soap making videos, please subscribe to my channel.